crash the system. It's the first time it crashes that way. It was very interesting. It just froze, and then the caps lock indicator blinked. Never seen that before. Anyways, that's what happens when you run your stuff on the same machine that you stream. But that may actually give me an indicator as to what's going on. So we'll see what I can do about that. All right. I actually need 2 seconds to reconnect my NAS. That's where my music is. Doink. Well, that should start playing now. And we're back. All right, so what did we learn? Nothing. Okay, I was on my to-do, and what do I want to do? I want to do an arena first. What I was saying pretty much was, okay, I couldn't hear the music. If I allocate about 4 meg of data, 4 meg of memory, that might be enough. I may need to basically do something that regrows and moves the entire thing across, but like the problem is if I use a bump allocator and what I need in terms of like size for the frame of the raw pixels, then I'll just have to like waste memory. I don't know what I'm gonna do. To be honest, what I have right now is not terrible if I don't like malloc like crazy. I also have the problem that when I remove the source, I kind of want that to have its own memory freed. So I could have multiple IP cams. Okay, I'm going to do a memory, some kind of allocator. I'm going to play with that. I want to play with that right now. So, I mean, this one's interesting because of the fact that this state there, which I am going to spend a little time cleaning up because I was going to use FFmpeg, and I realized now I don't need it. So this is kind of stuff. Data pointer does not really need to exist, nor textures, as far as I understand, for now. Let me check. Something was importing error now. All right, I should have seen errors here. Yeah, so it's just, I was preparing some stuff I don't need. In create, I do a bunch of stuff. Great, I do a malloc. That's where I'm going to do my big allocator anyways. And on render, I'm not really using some kind of pointer on some data. So I think I should be safe in removing those two. Thread ID, client state, sure, boundary, buffer length. Okay, so let's do, because even the boundary I could put it in this allocated stuff. Char star. Don't know if I want to make it a char star or a void star. What makes the most sense? I'm going to bump it, so I'm going to do pointer arithmetic. Probably want to do char star. And this is going to be, I'm going to call it arena, because I like the name. Great. And then I may create some functions, but for now I'm just going to do it by hand and then see where it goes. I don't know if I want to use mmap as opposed to malloc. Let's see. So I can give it a null address if I understand well. There's also the fact of like aligning and everything might be a bit tricky because I've done it once and I mostly like looked at someone else's version. I changed it a little bit, so I don't understand fully, which I think is probably a good reason why I should look at it again. Shared memory, type memory, regular files. Establish a mapping between the address space of the process item address PA for length byte to the memory object represented by the file descriptor. Fill this at offset off for length byte. The value PA is an implementation defined function parameter address. The one thing with mmap I understand is you could basically say I want tons of memory, and then you could only commit to a smaller number. I don't know if I'm going to do that here, but okay, so you could do write exec. Is there an example somewhere? Because I mean, I could read all of this, but I think I'm not. There's some adjacent knowledge to understand all of this that I probably don't have. Yeah, there's no. It's funny. See also exec fcntl fork. These are like pretty stuff. Okay, so let's just map examples. Okay, so it's probably not going to be correct. Here's an example. Okay. Open, stat, seek, write, map the input file, mmap 0, size. So how do you mmap an input file? Map shared, fd out, so use the file descriptor there. Okay, interesting. I saw the word example here. Oh, I didn't see it in my, maybe I was not on the right page. Yeah, see, this is just aligning to the page, right? PA offset, which is off T. Offset for mmap must be page aligned. Offset is past the end of the file, so there's a file thing going on there. Do I really want to do that? You know what, I want to do it later, but I also like getting distracted, so I'm going to do malloc for now and see what I'm going to do after. Now, new question. Is a kilobyte 1024 bytes? A kilobyte is approximately, but that's the thing, I don't want the approximately, so it's 1024. Okay, great. So if I was to do something like kilobytes with a number, that's kind of like what I'm looking at there. Okay. So megabytes is going to be kilobytes. Cool. So, great. Now, do I need some memory outside the one instance of a thing? Yes, quite likely. Okay, great. Let's do that. All right, so two things. On create here, I'll do a calloc there. So this is the thing. I'm gonna have my first thing there. I'm gonna get a char star arena equals malloc, and I may want to do a calloc 1 megabytes 2. Let's start with 2 meg for each source. See where that goes. Because in reality, like, I mean, I think I'm getting a bit short because I need 2 full frames and 1920 times 1080 times 4 channels. Each one of them is actually each one of them is single byte. That's gonna get me, that's like 8 meg. Does that seem correct? Full HD frame size in bytes. So this is 3 times 8, right? This one says 6 megs. It's because it's 3. The problem is like I have the alpha channel in there, right? So this is a problem. You're already at a few megs. So I'm gonna say actually, if I'm gonna set 2 frames at full HD is about 8 each, 16. I'm gonna say it's 32. 32 meg. And 32 meg is not even that big of a deal in that world, but it's images, so I guess that makes sense. So this is where I'm going to do struct state equals arena alloc arena, and this is where it's going to be a bit difficult because I can't do arena alloc. I can do arena alloc. You know what? I'm going to do arena alloc. Arena and 0. But I do kind of want to set the value. So I'm going to say arena pause. And how much? Size of struct state. Okay, so that's what I want. Now I do want a size t arena pause to be at 0 to start with. Now arena doesn't exist and size of struct state is there. Okay, great. So now I can do an arena alloc, which to be honest I could make a. Should I try to make it a macro? Sure, why not? Although arena alloc, I probably want to have it. I'm going to make it a function because I want it to be. I might want to like by default memset. So I might want to do that. Arena alloc is going to get a jar star arena, a size t pointer arena pause. I'm going to look at the pause inside here, so it's a bit easier. Return. You do it this way. Pointer equals arena plus pause. Okay. Now this is where it gets a bit complicated. No, it's not complicated. I just didn't dereference. I'm going to return the pointer, but do not forget to do pause plus equal. I'm forgetting that I am asking for a size, and let's do a memset pointer 0 size. All right, this is my arena alloc. It does the job. Now, because my frames are like within the thing, I don't really need to worry about that. Although I'm going to need to find a way to tell STB image to use my allocator instead of its own, which I know there's a way to do it. This can become arena alloc arena pause. Don't know why I'm doing this. A arena caps lock. Right. What I'm missing here is that my state does need to have a pointer to the arena, and it needs to copy the arena pause. And here I already see a problem here, because I am storing it here, but I'm using the old one here. I need to make sure that this one gets updated properly. Okay, great. So that in theory is all in there. Now I'm actually interested in destroy. Oh, interesting that this texture was reused. I think it was GS texture. Pointer. Struct. Okay, great. Now I can just do this. Thing is, when I that must be one of the problems that I have, is like I do a create, I never destroy it, right? What I realized last time is like, because what I used to do is like I used to do this once, and that caused me some issues. I wonder if I can do RGB here. That does not exist, right? So I'm getting distracted again. Texture 2D, maybe. Because if I can do RGB instead of RGBA, I can no, I can save some because I'm basically telling STB image to add an alpha channel to my stuff, so that I can just have the RGBA layout, which is where the 2 extra meg are coming from. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it like that, but obviously create texture, drawing it and not doing anything with that is pretty terrible. I'm gonna do GS texture destroy. Right. We'll see if that's like the right thing to do. I mean, in my mind, I should create a texture and keep it. And if I guess the width or the height changes, then I would change it. Yeah, the problem that I have is because I got a flip-flop, I will need 2 textures again, but yeah. Okay, I'm just getting okay, destroy is going to be destroy. What shall I expect from destroy? I cannot expect anything because I did this, destroy. Do I even get the source when it says destroy? Like, I kind of need the state. Okay, I do need to get, I do get a voice star stuff. Is there, let me check quickly. Is there there's no destroy type def. Okay. Struct state equals data. Free state arena. The thing is, when I do this, it's not only going to free the stuff, but also like the data that has this something inside state. So that should be like everything I need there. And obviously in here, I should be doing something like, you know, close state socket FD. I think that's what it's called. But like this kind of like happens on its own. Right. So do I have any malloc left somewhere? Yes, I have a malloc for the state boundary. So what's great is that I can do arena alloc state arena and state arena pause followed by this size. Arena alloc doesn't exist. Correct, because it's all the way at the bottom here. And to be honest, I want to keep it there. Why not? This file is getting slightly messy. I would love to have something like the HTTP, like the headers stuff somewhere else, but let's just keep it like that. To be honest, I mean, if I look there, this is not even 400 lines, so. All right, so that seems to have worked. I don't have any malloc, or I have a calloc left, but that's the only one. Okay, now the problem is, well, it's not a problem, but let's just run it, but not for too long, so I don't kill. Okay. Right, still working, so it means like my allocation is somewhat working. Great. I need to make sure I kill it, because otherwise my system could fry again. Or maybe not. Maybe it was the fact that I wasn't freeing the texture, but we'll see. Right. So stb, surely I've got one open here, not the wrong workspace, stb right here. Now malloc, so I can do define stb malloc, realloc and free to avoid using malloc, realloc and free. What I would need to do for that is to ignore free, crash on realloc, and malloc would be using a weird logic to basically say, if you are frame A, use this space. If you are frame B, use that other space. I think that's kind of like the idea. Because I think that I would use arena alloc to get a fixed size space for that. So how shall I do that? So stbi malloc, stbi realloc, and stbi free, I guess would just be names. So let's try with that to start with. Right here, I'm probably going to want to put it right here. Let's try that. Ah, great. That makes sense. Right, now I can do all this. Now these and this one is going to be that may actually be that's not going to work for me, because if I ever have more than one IP camera source, I won't be able to find the state based on what it's trying to do. Like I can't pass a pointer around to play with it. So I may want to look into, instead of loading, like, can you, I think that's the only way to do it. So it uses malloc, realloc, and free. stbi malloc. Yeah, there's no like state passed around, so you can't really like do anything. And I guess it may need stuff for like in flight, so that's going to be problematic. Let's see. I kind of want like, yeah, that's what I want. I just want the image, but I'm fine with it using internally malloc and free. You shoot in its buffer and then copy to prerequisite buffer. Yeah, one final copy. Loading mode for, yeah, okay. All right, so maybe that's just the way it is. My fan is going a little bit. This OBS. I'm just hoping that I don't have a crazy thing going on. Okay, so it looks like this is not a viable option, which makes sense. Not really, but I could do what this says, which is just copy to your buffer at the end. Sure. I guess if I don't want to move around the pointer to the data, if I have a place for the texture, then I would do that. But for now, I'm going to keep it as it is, because that's just a thing. So if I look at my to-do, reuse std image, not going to work. Now let's take a little break and let's to take a little break. Actually, there's another thing I need to write there. On destroy / deactivate and the thread, because I think right now the thread is in this. I'm not using an epoll. I'm using like a blocking read for the thread. Not really blocking, but you know what I mean. And that means that I can't actually interrupt that read. So if I mean, the simplest would be to have a global state that says you should stop. But if the service hangs but doesn't close, and I want to remove it, I want to remove the stuff, then the thread is going to be blocked. So I could either use an epoll with an event FD that would unblock the read when I tell it to stop. But that seems like a bit more to add. It's not huge, but it's a bit more to add. But yeah, I need to have something that does that. All right, let's take a break from the memory stuff, and I want to see how you add a setting to OBS stuff. Now, when I was looking at some stuff, I saw somewhere, that's the source for OBS Studio, plugin template. I think there's some code in there that showed how to add, no, there's nothing in there. Okay, let's just look at the API. And sources, data setting. Data setting objects are reference counted object that store values in a string, table, or array. They're similar to JSON object, but additionally allow additional functions to have default or auto selection value. They just have loaded from two JSON text and JSON text files. That's not really what I was looking for. I'm actually looking in, I do want to see how you basically say, oh, this plugin, this module has like these settings, and then I can then like read from it. Maybe it is in module. So yeah, okay, module exports, module load. Module name. Yeah, it's not going to tell me that. Okay. OBS plugin settings. It's not going to tell me anything because everything is like going to be about like how do you use OBS. C, and C is not going to do anything. Yeah. Code. Getting a bit desperate there. All right, since I'm desperate, I might as well just go here and say, okay, so that's what I looked at last time, which kind of seems relevant. When developing a OBS plugin, how? So, because my PC in the house is going to start making some noise when I start running this query, because that's where this goes. I'm not sending any of my stuff to a big AI training crunching thing. Maybe I should, because all my stuff is probably dumb enough to poison the AI instead of giving it quality stuff. How do I configure my plugin to have a text input in its settings? Yeah, so I think it just hallucinated all this. Or maybe not. I just don't remember seeing any JSON thing in other plugin examples. So there is like text, password, multi-line. I don't know if this is really correct. I mean, OBS properties and whatever is gonna get me the information. I'm just not sure about that, because like I don't remember providing a name there. There was a get name for me. These are actually two different options. Okay, so post load, add text, OBS properties, create, set description. Okay, so OBS properties add text is kind of what I'm looking for there. And that means that I think in the core API, I should be able to find properties. So this is kind of where I should have been there. Enumerate variable settings for a libOBS object. Typically, it's used to automatically generate user interface widgets, though can be used to enumerate a variable and or value values. Okay, so this is what I wanted. Properties create, but also properties. What did the AI do technically there? It said, I'm not seeing it being registered. OBS properties add text, but it adds it to an OBS properties create. I'm not seeing it being like added as part of the plugin. Set name, set description, but the props here are not used unless it's just like, how do I read them? So it's just get string, okay. OBS module create, my plugin properties. In my plugin properties doesn't return the values, it creates props and then return props, and then props is never used here. So this is where I'm like, you're missing something there. Create param. Yeah, add int, add text. Okay. What I'm going to do is copy this and then search on the internet for this, and there may be an example somewhere. So is there a plugin? Ah, this looks like Lua. OBS properties create, add int, return props, and that's in script properties. And script properties is never to be seen again. Ah, does not exist anymore. Well, that's sad. Maybe Lua is the same thing. Yeah, there's some hooks there. That's the problem. They call scripts. Python. Ah, RTMP custom. Now maybe that one has something. We'll find it. If this loads, is my internet just shitting? Not really. It's just taking ages. Okay. There's no add text. So this is, it looks like you just create something like this. Get properties, OBS service info. And it's not necessarily used. But I guess it's a service. I mean, I could potentially do the same. Yeah, so that's I mean, I guess the way I do it is I just discover as I go, right? Get properties. Okay, there you go. So I should just look at that to start with. Get properties seemingly exists. No. Okay, so that was just the problem. I'm gonna get a void star data. Okay, now that does not return the right thing. Do you need a struct OBS properties pointer? OBS properties T. I think there's something wrong with my like get properties. There's something wrong with the code stuff. Right, there you go. So that's much better now. Incompatible OBS properties T star void star and OBS properties T star void star. And this doesn't seem to have struct in front of it. Because T probably is a type def2 struct. Okay. Right. I don't know if I'm going to use state or not, but in here I should be able to do OBS properties T pointer props equals OBS properties create return props. I think that's what I read. So this looks pretty good. Now I can come here and say OBS properties add text props something else, and the something else is going to be name description type URL blah, 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 and it's kind of annoying, OBS text type OBS text blah blah blah, and blah 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 is autocomplete default. Fine with that. Let's try that. Make install, launch anyway, run in normal mode. I'm gonna hide it. Hiding it kills it, because I don't stop the loop if I do it. But if I launch hidden, it should not, it connects anyways. Oh, there you go. I can type stuff. I can say okay. Alright, so that's the only thing that I need to figure out. So URL is, I guess, is the name, so that's how I look it up, and this is the thing. Okay, great. Now there should be a thing that says, hey, the property changed, and I wonder if it's update. Update. It is doing a lot of get string in there, so I think update is correct, and settings is there, and I can get a string in the settings. It's weird that it says settings on the properties. I guess it makes sense. Get URL, get key. I guess these are different things. Okay, it's interesting because update is literally the last one that I had to specify to be full in there. Update void star data OBS settings T settings is our pointer. It'll tell me here. It won't tell me if I don't use something correct. OBS data T. Oh, interesting. So that means that maybe some stuff changed. Now, can I do OBS data get string settings, whatever? So it does exist, and a name URL, which you are gonna be. URL setting, just so I don't damn, I just mistyped it. I typoed it twice the same way. Okay, now what does that do? Does it malloc internally? Probably. So I probably would do an str dupe thing, but maybe not. Char star. In here, what I would need to do is, like, if it's running, kill it, and then restart it. If it's not running, you know, the usual. Char URL equals this. I wonder if in one of the types there is a URL type. Multi-line default info. No, not really. Okay, at least it's here. Do I do some lifecycle work? Stop when it needs to stop, reconnect, change the URL. Maybe that could be interesting to do. Okay. So to do that, I'm gonna change the state. So state is, I'm gonna have a thing that says like active and inactive. And basically the idea is, I'm just gonna have a running one, like if it's actually running. It does have a state already, so I could actually just say add another one, which would be state inactive, right? But the problem is like when I'm awaiting data, for example, and I'm just like scanning for things, we just said that it's not inactive is working. And I'm going to make a boolean that is easier, because that state is just a connection state rather than anything else. So I'm going to have a bool active. It's going to be false by default because I'm mem setting everything to 0. And then I have this thing of like thread start here. I don't know if thread start is like the actual thing. Connect to server. So I'm going to say state active true. Yank this, disconnect from server, state active false. What do I do? Do I set up an epoll system with eventfd, or do I assume that I will be getting the right thing? I mean, what I find really odd is that if I close the socket, I should be getting a 0 from read. And when I do 0 from read, I break out of the loop. I just break, and after breaking, it just goes here. I guess what I would need to do here is to make sure that I do free on the data for both STB, STDBI, because that's the two things that are allocated and never freed up at that point. So I should be doing that on state frames at 0.data and then at 1. So it kind of does the thing properly. There's close and whatever, right? But the rest is kind of fine to have it allocated already. There is a string that I allocate, like the boundary one. I should probably free the boundary one. I can't free the boundary actually because it's kind of like lost. I'm allocated a new one, so I'm fine like losing that memory, and now when it's reactivated, I'll just have it in a different place. So the only drawback is like if I do that on and off and off, on and on and on and on and on and on, I will lose that one name in there, like the size of that. Okay, so connect to server, disconnect from server, great. Now I have a create and a destroy, okay, and maybe what I should do is, if it is, I guess coding free here, if it's still running, would cause an issue, because then all of that memory is freed and I may immediately try to read it somewhere. So I should probably do a pthread join, right, on state thread ID. But wait, is it null, the second one? Wait, this is what I'm doing here. Close and do this. So I should probably just say disconnect from server. And this will be the same thing, except that when I do destroy, I free the memory, right? Clearly arena. So disconnect is correct and connect is this. Now I do kind of want to do a thing where like if state is not active, I'm not going to do anything, because like I could just like add it without being active, and it doesn't work. Like there's the connect to server. So I'm going to do either in connect to server, check if I have a valid URL in the settings, and just say you can connect, or otherwise just don't do anything. Yeah, I don't know what to do. What I could do, which would be fun, is I could have a texture that literally has a thing that says missing URL, go to settings, so that when the when it's not active and I don't have the setting, the URL setting, I could then have a thing that says, hey, you're missing the URL. Like visually in the source, it would print that text in there. Actually, I should be able to do it with draw text, but yeah, we'll see about that. Okay, so what I guess I'm missing is nothing for now. I'm not missing anything for now. What I'll do for now is I will build it. Great, I'm not doing anything with that, so it's fine. And what I want to try to do is like activate, deactivate, add, and destroy, and see if this just like works. So I turn it off there. Now I got a bunch of like state awaiting headers, and then it just like kind of crashes out there. So what I wonder what I need to do is to say, like I am doing a pthread join when I deactivate, right? So I think what I'm going to do is print something here, wait join, and then joined. Let's try that. I want to see if it like if it's not happening, like if it's still waiting for ages. Turn it off, and I say wait join, and it does something, and then I get buffer not big enough. This is a bit different from what I had before, but a sec fault. But I'm not getting the one that says it finished joining. And what's weird is like I do wait join, which should have closed already, and when it close, I'm still in the loop. This is another thread, so it's possible it's happening at the same time, but really not really, right? So active is false. So maybe what I should do here, while state active, and you do that, right? So that way, if you're about to do something, just don't even try to read if you have the right condition there. Well, that seems to have worked a bit better. So it's possible that there was a right condition there. Right, corrupted size versus previous size while consolidating. Now that could be, I don't really know what this is. This may be STBI. Who knows? No. glibc error. Okay. Memory chunk control structure fields in the adjacent following chunk are being overwritten due to out-of-bound access by the code. If you like X back for pointer P, you'll wind up writing beyond X in regards to the same pointer. You might get this error indicating the current memory allocation is not the same as what I find in the next chunk. So it could either be that I don't have enough space in my arena and I'm just going out of it. It's possible. I don't think that I'm calling create again, so I'm not reallocating, but I think I may be, well actually when I deactivate, I don't free it, right? I just close and join, so the data is already there. I'm not doing another arena alloc, right? I'm doing it in create, which happens like the calloc is there, I get 32 meg, and then do arena alloc for the buffer here, which is reused, and then I do it for the boundary, which I just do once again, and that's pretty much it, right? So that should be fine. Just to test it, I'm gonna give myself a healthy 128 meg. You know what? Let's go crazy, and then see if that still causes an issue. And if that's the case, then that means that I'm doing something wrong, right? But now I can turn it off and it's fine, it's not causing an issue. I can turn it on again and go free invalid size. Okay, so it looks like I'm calling free. And what's possible is that when I deactivate, I still have, when I deactivate, I already freed, yeah, okay, I found what the issue is, I think. When I deactivate, let's see if I can find it, deactivate, I disconnect from server. Now, disconnecting from server actually is going to set the active to false, and here I am freeing the data for those two. But when I do that, I'm also not saying set them to null, which means when I come back here, it's going to find data here and it's going to try to free it the first time. And because it's not null, it points to some data that's like already freed. That's my theory. So state frames at 0 data equals null. Now if I do this, in theory, because I give null, it's not going to try to free something that does not exist. Turn off, turn on. That was the issue. Okay, so now I can turn off and turn on, and every time it just reconnects. Right, now can I delete it? Yes, which should have done the same thing. Okay, can I add a new one? Ah, it opens the settings now because I have a setting, and it connects to it automatically. Okay. And I can just deactivate. Now the fact that it connects means that it received the activate event when I create it, which is exactly what I want. Like I just want to have activate, deactivate for my stuff, not the other one. So great. So I've got something that is nice-ish. I don't know if I'm still blowing up my computer if I leave it running for longer, but we'll see. Now this setting page actually was quite interesting because I'm like, could I have a button that lets you test the connection? And then you're good to go. I'll think about that later. But this activate, deactivate stuff is interesting because I should then be able to, when the URL changes in the settings, I should be able to then say disconnect from server, which only happens if you're not connected, really. Which is great because it does that. And to be honest, connect to server should only happen if you're not connected. If you're active, return, so you shouldn't do that. But on settings update, I should now be able to do disconnect from server, which I don't have the state. Let me yoink it from here. Let me just type it in instead. Right, so that's what I want to do. And I need to parse that URL and then get the right thing with like IP and everything. That's the more tricky part. But I think there are a set of functions that does everything in regards to DNS resolution and stuff like that. So I'm going to look into those right now. Because I'm not sure where to start, and I could easily do some parsing of the URL by just, finding the colon / I get the scheme, then I can get this, then I can get the ports. Like I can do that fairly easily. But once I have the host and the port, I need to find to resolve that. So actually, instead of parsing the whole thing, I'm going to do two chats. One is with a given host, host name or IPv4, how can I get the sinaddr.saddr for a socket in C? Now that's supposed to be specific enough. So get ADR info is the one I remember, or init addr, or get host by name. Get ADR info is pretty good. So host name, get ADR info, hint result, and I can just get the AI ADDR. That's it. Now this one is the one that I use, which only works for IPv4 addresses for now. Now I'm going to make another chat and say, for a given HTTP URL, how can I get the senaddr.saddr and sen port for a socket in C? Now, is there another thing that just does the entire HTTP stuff automatically? I'm not sure. It does parse URL. I don't want to see the code for that. I want to do it myself. All right, so I'm going to use getaddrinfo, and then I'm going to do the parsing first. I'm going to do the parsing locally. I just can't be bothered. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I may have to do an str dupe. Yeah, think about it later. Okay. Do I need to free when I do get string here? Or is it going to free it for me? Because the other examples I saw, they were str. I saw someone str duping it. It was in a. I think I closed it there, so I don't have it. But there's a search bar, right? OBS data get string. Oh man, it's not telling me. Can I find the source for that? I mean, it has to be on the internet, right? I don't have OBS. I'll just clone it. I have OBS. It's called OBS Studio. OBS data get string. Man, that's going to be a bit too much because there's tons of there's some docs and stuff. There's tons of plugins. Now libOBS is interesting there. bstr dupe. No, bstr dupe. Brelock. That's a really funny. Checked memory allocation. C tap harness. Wrapper around the standard C memory allocation function. They each check whether the memory allocation succeeded, returning the new allocated memory on success, and calling sysbail on failure. There is tap. Okay. Anyways, little distraction here. So if we don't look at the plugins, but look at some stuff, OBS. I think that's the one, isn't it? Export const char OBS get string. No, because there's a semicolon. Linux FileWire, interesting. That's the one, OBS data. It's a dash, isn't it? OBS data item get string. OBS data item get string. Data item get string. It was there, right? It wasn't it? Here, data item get string. Item valid. Get data item. I only got 4 here. So where is get data defined? It's a bloody function, isn't it? Data item get string. Get item data. Is a function. Get data pointer. Get item name. Name length. Right. So it's not necessarily that it's trashed at the end, it's just that the lifetime of that is the lifetime of the object, because it's just a okay, that makes sense. So I do kind of want to duplicate it or do stuff with it. Okay, so that's great. I'll just do that, and then I can free it when I'm done. But no, I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to keep the data. All right, cool. Let's just ignore what I just did because that just was a big distraction, and look at parsing it. First, I could extract the scheme. Sure, as an exercise. Let's do that. I'm going to have a cursor that I'm going to keep there. And I'm going to actually have a start and a char star end. And I'm going to do a mem. I kind of, do I want to str? They're both strings, yes. Let's do that. And from start, and I'm looking for this. And what I should be getting is end. If end is no, I need to make sure that state I need a property to store it, and I kind of want to store it as the, like I just said, this is a host in there. I kind of want to do that. I want to say like, this is a host. I'm just going to put this right there. I realize I probably want to disconnect first. Host equals null. And I should probably free it if it was there. Right, that's the idea. I think I'm going to store the host, do str dupe, rather than... No, I don't want to do that. I'm basically bouncing between, do I store the host as a string, and only when I need to connect to my server, I do the getaddrinfo, or do I do the getaddrinfo when the URL gets changed, like when it's updated, and I store the actual address thing. This is what I do. I actually would like to know how often that happens, because if it's mid-typing, that's going to be an issue. If it's mid-typing, I need to make sure that it's like, I'll wait until this is valid URL before I do anything. Let's try that again. Right, it may be mid-typing. And also like disconnect from server and connect from server is not gonna work if I'm like already doing it. I think that's the issue there. Ah, I'm crashing immediately. Is it str that's causing an issue? Yeah, so it's like literally on every stroke. I kind of wish I had like a blur. Oh man, okay, so how am I, what else can I do, right? Realistically, I could just wait until this is valid URL, but like you could still be midway through typing. I could add a button that only connects when it's done. What can I do? Oh, there's tons of stuff in here. Focus. Get properties too. Save. Call when saving a source. This is a separate function because sometimes the source needs to know when it is being saved, so it doesn't always have to update the current setting until a certain point. I think this may be what I need instead of update. Updates the setting for this source. Alright, let's try save. And realistically, it's literally this one. I'm just going to do that. It's simpler. Okay, so this is kind of what I want. The only thing is that I may want to have this, like, if I can add an error message in the props that says invalid URL, like I need to figure out how I provide some feedback. But for now, I'm in the right place there. So now I actually wonder, because when I was doing that, it crashed. I guess it's because I was doing str. That was the issue. Okay, great. I don't know why it failed. Like, is it possible that getString is not null terminated? Like, how does that work? I mean, getString has to be null terminated, right? Okay. So, okay, it does work. Okay, great. So there I'm going to have to say there's an error here, don't continue, right? But otherwise, I'm going to have a const char star schema, and I'm going to have a length one as well. And that starts, and then I'm going to have a uint32t schema length equals end minus start. Super simple. And really I'm going to have to do schema, all that stuff. But for now, yeah. I wonder if I could potentially do then start equals end plus, I guess that's like however long I want this thing to be, which is strlen of this. I think that's correct. In which case I may do something like define get token, and I'm just going to assume it's called start and end. I'm not going to worry about that. And no, I'm going to have a start and dilim, and then name len. I'll do that. It's not ideal, but we'll just make it work. And what I want is basically exactly this. Put right here. Sure. There, and that's it. And this is going to be dilim, start, and this is going to become name, and this is going to be name len, and end and start. It's a bit tricky, but that's just a great way to do it. And start needs to start being URL, otherwise I'm never gonna get anywhere. Get token, start, end, this followed by schema length. I'm tempted to just not provide the second one, but let's just ignore that. Okay. Okay, now this one is actually kind of optional, right? Like I shouldn't really worry about that one. So I may actually do something where if it's not null, then I do this. Otherwise, right, the question is if it is null, name equals null. Right, I do that. That's easier. That way I don't return. But here I can do something else. I'm going to prepare all of them here. Schema, host, port, path. Oh yeah, because I need all of those actually. uint32t, schema length, host length, port length, path length. Right, it's a bit dumb, but let's just wait. So here's interesting because here I'm going to try to put inside host and host length the thing, but I could do if host. It's risky because the colon could be found. Like I need to figure out actually, this is going to move my start and end, so it's a problem because if I want to say actually get me all of the hostname stuff including the semicolon in the middle, I may need to do that in 2 stages. So I'm going to do that. I want to get a / and this is the full host in a way, right? And then finally I can get the rest. Everything else is the path. So I really made this for 2. I made the macro for 2 things. It's a bit dumb, but yeah. I'm going to need to store the path, so that's going to have to be str duped, which should be quite easy because I don't have this thing there. Okay, great. State path equals str dupe end, which could be null in this instance, which would be terrible. I need to sort that out. Now that doesn't have a path, and actually, you know what, when I have the thread start somewhere here, this is a in addrt, and this is a import t. Const char star path in addrt addr in port t port. Right, so that's my stuff sorted in a way. Great. And I don't even need the path here. Now I'm gonna need to split the host and the port because there's no port. So what I need to do is to grab, I need to do a mem chr because I can't do a strchrn. So I'm going to do a mem chr of host colon and host length. Very obviously incorrect. Now this, I need to make sure that the size is this, correct. And that is going to give me end. I'm just going to move end to there. Now, if end is null, I did not find a colon, then state at port is H2NS80 default port. And I could check the scheme. If the scheme is this, do this, that, but I'll figure it out at another time. This is actually giving me a const here. And this is going to give me a const. The pointer can change, the data inside doesn't. Okay. If it is not null, then state port is going to be, now how do I do a I to A or a to I with an N? Like A to I, str to NL, str to L, yes, but I think that one might not be the correct one either. It's a start pointer and an end pointer. I mean, this will work because it'll basically tell me where it finished, and if it finished like out of // like, I mean, it will work because yeah. So okay. The only situation we wouldn't work is if the path is incorrect, but I should cover that automatically. And also this, if it's null, I need to deal with this. Anyways, too many things. And plus 1. Now 10. H2NS. That's the theory. Now I do want to do if host is null, I am going to basically say that the host is going to be start and the host length is going to be URL plus strlen URL minus start. So the end of the string, the rest of the string is the host, and in this case the path state path equals just an empty string, actually a /, and in there I'm going to do else actually. That way I can get a path if I did find a / at the end. Now the thing is, strdup end. Now at that point end has been moved, so I think I'm gonna do n-1, which is a bit because if I do get token with a /, actually it's start that gets moved, end actually is right at beginning, so end is actually correct here. Let me check if I need to do something here. Now start will have been moved, but no, it will be at the same place. Start will be like right after this one. Okay. If scheme is null, return. This is incorrect scheme. Schema. Schema? What the fuck? I'll be tired. Alright, so this is HTTPS and then connect to server. Now connect to server should now, in the thread start, I should do something quite a bit different. In that this is where I'm going to, the address is actually not resolved yet. Let's do it then. That's what I'm missing. And okay, getaddrinfo. Man getaddrinfo. syssocket netdb, which I think makes sense actually, netdb. Yes. And what you want is name, service, rec, and PAI. Given node and service, it's funny because I get name and service, not node and service, which identify an internet host and a service. Get ADDR info returns one or more ADDR info structures, each of which contains an internet address that can be specified in a call to bind or connect. That's great, that's what I need. The getaddrinfo combines the functionality provided by the getHostByName and getServeByName function into a single interface. But unlike the latter functions, getaddrinfo is reentrant and allows programs to eliminate IPv4 versus IPv6 dependencies. It's interesting because like getServeByName feels like it's going to give me the port. Well, actually, I kind of know the port if it's in there, but it also means that I could maybe even eliminate my port parsing if it, for one given string, it does it. But also, actually, service is where I'm a bit confused. The ADDR info structure used by getaddrinfo contains the following fields: used or returned. Yeah, it does provide me with that information. There's hints though. Flags family structure protocol, address length, address, canon name, next. The hints are going to point to an info structure that specifies criteria for selecting the socket address structure returned in the list pointed to by res. If hints is not null, it points to an ADDR info structure whose AI family, AI sock type, and AI protocol specify criteria that limits the set of socket addresses returned by getaddrinfo. Okay, this is great because this is what I need. Like, I don't want to do unspec. I want to do init to stick to IPv4 for now. Socket type is for sure stream for now. The protocol usually 0. Any protocol can be defined, and flags is some flags. Okay, great. So I will need to specify the hints. Service sets the port in each return address structure. If this argument is a service name, it is translated to the corresponding port number. Okay, so I just need to set the port. It can also be specified as a decimal number, which is simply converted to binary. If service is null, then the port number of the return socket address will be left uninitialized. Okay, great. So a string for the host, I guess, a string for the port, hints that I'm going to provide, and it's going to give me back a number of those back. Right, let's just play with that. I need a, what's the type there? A ADDR info. Hints. And I'm going to pass the host. That's the problem. I need a C string for those. It is so annoying. Oh. I don't want to, and I'm not going to modify the underlying thing. I'm going to do a malloc and a free there, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm going to do it just for the sake of moving along. Malloc host length +1 const char c host. I know this is like a bit stupid to do this way, but it gets the null terminated stuff at the end. That way I don't have to worry about it. Oh wait, strndupe, it's a thing. Nice. Host length. Okay. Now the port is, I've already got it as a number. So, I mean, it's the same thing here, like storing this in here. I should probably just do this here. And I'm gonna say C port. And C port strndup of I don't know why I'm just complicating my life here. C port strndup of end plus 1. Oh, this is where it gets annoying because with str to L, I can very easily sort those out. I'm going to do the port myself because I can put it in hints and now I don't have to worry about it. Okay, great. AI. Oh, but then that I can't give it as a number. This argument can also be specified as a decimal number, which is simply converted to binary. Don't know how you can do that. Does that work? Res u in 32t res len struct addr info res pointer. Okay, yeah, so I can't, yeah, because this port is actually incorrect. Is that a real thing? No. I'm gonna have to just do something dumb. I'm starting to like run out of steam and getting a bit slow, but I kind of want to get something going. Okay. Do I really have another thing called port defined? Yes. This is getting constantly more stupid there. Okay. Clean this up, and this is gonna be C port. Yeah, so this is what I thought, like it can't, like I don't understand, like it can also be specified as a decimal number. Like, is there like another signature that I need to provide? Like, oh, decimal, like a string decimal number, I think is the thing. Okay, so we're back to exactly what I was before, which was I need a string for the port. Yeah, and to get the string to the port, I need to figure out either the position of the forward path, like the, yeah, like that thing, or host length, I guess the end of the host, no, the start of the path, but the path could be not in that string, could be the end of the string. Doink. I fix that later. I'm just, this string manipulation there doesn't work for me right now. I need to figure out. because I put it in my hints. No, I need it here. Okay. And hints and res with uin32t res len, followed by I may need to store the host because I might try multiple addresses. I'll think about it later. I just need to print it. Struct addrinfo res pointer. Hints are family af init protocol is sock stream. I actually don't know if this is the one or if it's supposed to be I think it's sock type, and protocol is 0 because I don't know what it is. What other thing can I hint to? Address, family, next. It's interesting because I'm not seeing the port. So like if that's not going to return to me the port, then I mean I guess I need to use it myself and see what's going on. Okay, for uin32t I0 I smaller than res len plus I, please provide to me I don't know what I'm gonna print, so I'm gonna do a hex, and it's gonna be res at I dot data, which is a chart pointer dot star 14. S. Let's try that. I think that's what it is. Oh, there's legit a port there, so that's gonna cause an issue. I get updates and then nothing else. So a few things. I could early return, which I don't think I've left an early return here, or I just got nothing in my getaddrinfo. Also very possible. The other thing that I should probably do is input %s and c host c port. See if I even have my parsing correct, because I didn't even test that. Test 3. Okay. Update, and it just stops there. So it's not even coming here. Scheme is null. If end is not null, return. That is definitely not going to work. Okay. So my host actually has the 8080 in it, which is incorrect, and then my port has a thing, and then a sec fault, which I probably sec fault on trying to connect, because I'm still trying to connect when I do this. And realistically what I should do is just remember if it was connected before. So I should say bool was connected equals, or was active, right, right? And I should probably just disconnect. Like if I change this thing, I should quite likely disconnect. And I should only connect if it was active. Right? If was active. Okay, that's what I want. Now, obviously I have a problem here, so I'm going to force the 8080. Now, the other thing is, I am trying to find this, right? And I got the C host, and the C host is SCRNG both host and host length. So that's correct. The only thing that I'm missing there is that I need to change the host length to be host to be end minus host. And that's going to help me because now, actually, because I know where the colon is and I know the length of the host, what I can do is str ndup end plus 1 followed by host plus host length right before I modify it. That's the end of the host minus end plus 1. I think that's what I need here. Normal mode, edit, okay. Okay, so I have too many that I'm counting there. I'm not sure why, but it is getting my input correct, so that's pretty good. It's also possible that like this does need to be pre-allocated. Like, I mean, does it give me the data? Okay, before I look at this, or maybe printf is causing an issue. I'll look at that later. This length there, I'm doing minus and plus 1. I may want to do something like this, which to be honest is not going to change much. But n plus 1 is where it's going to start, and host plus host length is the end. And then I changed the host length. Now host length is correct, but C port does not seem to be correct. And there's 2 characters added. So I get n plus 1, which is the first character of my port, and I get host plus host length, which is the end. But like n plus 1 is going to be the character after, so I should probably do this instead, which is still not going to help me because I'm still going to have 1 too many. Yeah, I still got the / there. So it's either that end or the host length was incorrect before it was modified. Because host is now no. Minus end plus 1 minus end minus 1 wouldn't work. Host end plus 1. Okay, I'll have to figure out something else out. Did I segfault again? Yes. I guess it segfaults on getaddrinfo, and it's because res is not set to anything, which I think makes sense. Allocates and initializes a linked list of ADDR info structures, one for each network address that matches node and service subject to any restriction. There are several reasons why the linked list may have more than one ADDR info, including network host limiters. Okay, so I think basically the problem is that this is a linked list. Do while res equal res dot next. AR next. Okay. Alright, so I don't know if this is going to be the solution there. Also, I'm going to have a problem because my port is still incorrect. But I can sort that out separately. Okay. Input is printed, getaddrinfo. Right. Is it just me reading that's causing an issue, or is it the getaddrinfo that's causing an issue? Ah, it is the reading that's causing an issue. So I guess maybe maybe this is not good. I mean, this is like a char pointer with 14, so why would that be an issue? Unless it is null, in which case yes, that would make sense. What I could do then is just instead of this, I would say while res is different from null, do this. So it seems like it's just not finding me something, which is fair enough. I don't know why I would need to provide a port. I'm still sec faulting, damn. Is it self faulting on printf? I mean, that's the only thing that's happening there, realistically. Oh. 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 But I had something working from before. Ooh, I can't quit this. Oh, I've got a bloody while. I left a while loop. And I'm not going to do a p kill on my main OBS. One with a bigger number I should have. If I get disconnected, I chose the wrong one. I'm still there. Yes, I just got a while loop. Clever me. Okay. All right, so it seems like maybe I can just do this here. But like, it's weird because if this caused an issue, like res is I can read it. I can read res and see what's going on. What's the return value on this? 0 if it succeeds, or one of the following non-zero error codes. Bad flags. Is there a way for me to print it? Code GAI_STR error. Great. So if res len is different from 0, printf %s res length. Okay, let's do that. OBS, launch, save, serve name not supported for AI sock type. Let's do something dumb and just say -1 to get the port correct. This time I get no error. So this should early return, okay? Which now allows me to do this. This should have worked because it was, if it was null, then it wouldn't let me do. It printed nothing this time. Didn't crash. 14. Garbage. I guess it's just data, so I can't really tell what that is. But I wonder if I could do a hex of the first value. Although it's not going to tell me much. (1F) hex 2 decimal. (31). What does that mean? Who knows? All right, so I don't know if I need to provide the port. I'll try that. I get a 0 this time. Does the address there contain everything including the port? And I was just reading the last few bytes of the port in network order instead of the other one. I'm just let's just check this. This is a sock ADDR with just data inside, and then when I connect, which I've lost already, I do a sock ADDR IN and I provide it. Okay, so raw data, and by doing this I'm changing this. Okay, so it's possible it has everything that I need in there. Okay, never mind. So let's see. I need to tidy up all of this because in reality I need to do get ADDRinfo, and either I store the result of get ADDRinfo, aka this, and I use that to connect, or I store these values without the hints, and then just do something with it. I think I need to do that. C port. So that means that I need to change in my state what I store. Right? Const char star host, const char star port. That's what I need. Now I'm gonna get some errors there. 80 by default. And to be honest, I might just keep it to null because I think that's gonna do 80 automatically, hopefully. And then there, instead of this, I need to do state port. And I'm going to do the -1 even though I don't understand why I do -1. And okay. And finally, this is going to be state host. Okay. And I can just delete this, and instead of this, it's going to be state port with the hints. I don't need the C port anymore. Let's see what else. Printing it. don't really need that. I mean, this is kind of like what I need. Right, so do this, and the hints are there, and I delete all of this, and I go to the to here, paste it there. Right, now this needs to be changed quite greatly. DDR res, ADDR res. If it's not that, printf GAI str error. I'm not sure that's the one. Ah, it is the one, seemingly. Get ADDR info error. Okay. Return null. Okay, right, so this is where I need to do the next one and whatever. But what that means here is that I need to remove all of this, and I need to try to connect. So connect state socket fd res aiaddr res addr len. I think that's the length that I need, right? Okay, and now I can say if connect is smaller than 0, go to the next one, right? And if I reach the end there without having connected successfully, I'm going to do a stupid thing. I'm going to say connected equals true, right? And if I come here and I say if not connected, return null. So, and then connected is not going to be there, and doink, doink, doink. Actually, I do kind of want here to do a p error connect, but not like fail, only fail when I just like get all of this out. The host I'm gonna have to change there, so I might have to do a sprintf instead of this, which is a bit annoying. And the path I'm gonna have to place here as well. For now I'm gonna leave them, but I definitely need to change those. So launch, this actually is video. Okay, turn on thread socket, and it just stopped. Okay, so didn't really fail, but it's not the right thing, and I need to start thinking about winding down and finding an exit to this stream, because I think I could spend a bit more time, but I do need to get out of here soon. So let's see. Host and port should be set correctly in this instance. I'm not getting a get ADDR info error as far as I'm concerned. I haven't seen one. I saw socket, and socket is printed here, and then I do get ADDR info, so there was no error there, and I think that it just doesn't set it to true. So it's possible that I'm getting no res and I'm immediately saying return. That's a possibility. So let's look at state and port and see what it looks like. Not state and port, but host and port. Oh, it didn't even fail this time. Yeah, it's interesting because like the value is not on launch. I should read the value because otherwise this is not saved. Now it is saved. I do this and it's not even printing it. Ah, it's printing it. I just forgot to put the thing. So okay, so that's a seemingly correct information. I just forgot to put the line return there and it didn't flush it. So get ADDR info if it's not 0, then I do something and I return, but I'm not printing here. Does it try to connect? Is the length incorrect? Maybe that's the issue. I mean, I'm giving it a suck ADDR pointer with the length. ADDR length, yeah, which I think is correct. Let's see how many times it loops. Because it's all possible I didn't find any. Okay, unlock. One of them. So one of them connects. Ah, that is very unfortunate. And I need to break as well, and I do need to free, like get ADDR info free. How do I free it? Oh, I think there's literally a free ADDR info. It's there as well, right? List of addresses. You try all of them. Yeah, you see, you get the next one. You initialize. You say, well, it's not known. You say, I do the while loop. Okay, sure. Close the thing. Free ADDR info when you need it. Okay, great. So that's as simple as that. Res, right? Okay, great. Exciting. Okay, it's working. Okay, how much more shall I do? Well, one thing I want to do is I want this to work, but first I would love if I could read the initial data when at launch time and parse it. Like, I kind of need that. But I'm a bit worried, not necessarily worried, but create gives you data. Is there a load? There is a load. What does load do? OBS data, that seems very similar to what I need. Called when loading a source from saved data. This should be called after all the loading sources have actually been created, because sometimes there are sources that depend on each other. Right, so this is exactly what I need, and what I get is a OBS data T settings, right? All right. So now I just need to replace all of this with a P save. There you go. And instead of save here, I'm gonna have reload data. Sure. That's just reload data. State and settings. Right, state is not there, but it's because I just steal it from there. Paste, paste, and change the signature here to be state of type struct state. Right. So now it should load it on, when it starts, it's going to parse terribly this URL, especially with this -1 that I don't know where it comes from or why I need to do it. Or maybe it's as simple as I've moved start. I don't know what it is. I'm just getting confused. Now, the other thing is that on destroy, I now have some data in there that is str duped, rather like host and port is not in the allocated memory. So I'm going to do something stupid but fun. Right next to my arena alloc, I'm going to have a void arena str and dupe. And then what I want is a const char star str with a size t size. Arena alloc arena pause size +1, and that's going to be my char star duped, return dupe, and memcpy into dupe from string size finished with dupe at size equals the null terminating character. Then I got an arena str and dupe, which can be used here. Arena pause. It's a pretty poor way of doing things, but no, it's just fun. Right, so now when I just destroy it, it's just gonna clear it, with the caveat that, like, if I change the string very often, because I don't free until the thing is destroyed, yeah, it just doesn't do the thing properly. I wonder if there's a way to just say, like, if you're activating a given source, can I get the settings of that source? Like, if I'm about to activate it, just read the setting at that point rather than just. But yeah, anyways, got it here, run it, launch. Now I shouldn't need to actually do this. I could do this, correct, can turn it off, can go in here, change some stuff, turn it off. Okay, can I? No, I don't have time. Damn, I'm gonna give it a hard stop. But I just wanted to do something. Right, so what I'm missing here is there's a few optimizations, but it seems to be running better. I may want to leave it running for a while to see if my computer completely crashes again. Maybe I will do that another time. What I'm missing here is send the correct host plus path in the HTTP request instead of hard coded, and then better connection / URL format error feed back. Like how when you make a plugin, you tell your user that something went wrong. Yeah, how do you deal with that? I may even have like a test thing where it's like you put the URL, you click the test button, and test will just open the connection, send the header, expects the header back to just have the multi-part content, and then if it has it, everything's good. If it doesn't, it would just it would just like tell you that something went wrong, I guess. Anyways, that's all for today, and yeah, I'm happy with what's done, and not a ton more than what was there yesterday, but I think the few breakthroughs were probably, oh, you're making a new texture, but you're not cleaning it out. And this one, I think that I should still be able to have two persistent texture that I keep swapping. In which case, if I have two textures, I could technically write to the texture only have one place in the arena for the STBI frame, because I could just write to it and then only have one copy to the texture at a time. Oh, actually, I copied it right. Anyways, I'm getting confused. I could just swap which texture is being drawn. That's still something I need to sort out. And then the rest seems to be alright. And it's still probably around just on only 500 lines of code. But yeah, anyways, do more of that tomorrow until I get bored or it's kind of finished. And I think if it's kind of finished, I will try to mount the old phone that I have. So this one that we've been using. I can do some funny stuff like this. There you go. That's my face there. I have a tiny face. If I put it like this, I can give myself a small head. There you go. So yeah, do some more of that until I get bored and then just do something else. That's it for today. Alright, I'm tired. Bye.